Hello everyone, and welcome to the next short video in our session on an introduction to the JIDT software. In this short video, we are going to look at installing the JIDT toolkit. You can find all the details you need for installation on this page at the wiki, which you can click straight on in the slides. I'll give you a brief demonstration on that for the beginner's path. For beginners, we simply go to the download link or the installation page at the GitHub site, download it and then zip it to our preferred location. Let me show you how to do that. So here we're at the JIDT website on GitHub. All we've got to do is scroll down here and we can see under the Getting Started section we've got a download and installation page. Let's have a look at installation. So here we get a straight up link to either cloning the Git repository or downloading the latest. So we're going to click here on the full distribution. We'll get our pop-up here and we'll just download it straight there. And we can go and we can have a look. It's downloading right now and it's all done. So once it's downloaded, we just unzip it to wherever we want. Okay, so I've extracted it to a folder here. I'm just going to rename that to something slightly more nice. Okay, and voila, we're done. JIDT is downloaded and installed. For advanced users, as I mentioned briefly, you can take a Git fork or a clone. I'm not going to show you how to do that right now, but you can follow how to do that. Follow the instructions on how to do that if you like using Git. That will help you stay up to date with the latest version of the repository at all times by running Git updates. If you do take a Git fork or a clone, you will need to run ant, or even better, run ant dist, and that will build the jar file for you, which is the Java library file. So you'll need to run ant if you do a Git fork. If you download the zip, as I've just done, you won't need to do that. Either way, to be able to use the toolkit, you'll need to have that jar file, which represents the library, on your class path. Now I'll talk you through how to do that in the next couple of videos. But for now, that's it. Installation is done. There are a couple of caveats to that, of course, and let me talk you through those now. Of course, you will need a Java runtime environment installed, and you need that to be version greater than or equal to 6, and most people will have that. Almost everyone should have that, that version requirement satisfied by now. Now that will come automatically with a Matlab installation. It might come with Octave Java or Python JPipe installations if you're going to use JIDT via Octave or Python. If you're going to use Java directly and write your code in Java, then you'll need a full Java Standard Edition or Java Development Kit if you want to develop code in Java or if you want to change the source code. Okay, but that's really for more advanced users. If you want to rebuild the project, if you fork from Git, or if you want to change the source code, you're going to need ant to rebuild the project. If you want to run the unit test, you're going to need JUnit installed as well. And if you want to utilize GPU, the GPU part of the library, you're going to need a CUDA installation for that. But those 4 items there, they're really for more advanced users. For most of you who are watching this video, you won't need to worry about that at all. Finally, additional preparation may be required if you want to use JIDT via GNU Octave or in Python, and we'll come to the requirements for that shortly. But those caveats are really fairly small. Okay, so let's check that our environments work. Let's start with checking the Java environment in the first place. To do that, we're just going to run a short demo script here in the demos Java directory. So let me give you a demonstration of that. Let's switch back to where I have my installation. So here's my installation of the 1.4 version. I'm going to go into demos, Java. I'll take a terminal window here. Now the first thing I'll need to do to make sure that all my shell scripts run properly is to give myself execution permission on this. This is something that you'll only need to do in Linux or perhaps on Macs. For Windows users, you won't need to do this. Okay, so now my scripts are runnable and I'm going to run example 1. Okay, I've run that and everything worked fine. It's given me some sample output here for a calculation of transfer entropy on some random data. So Java works fine. Coming back to the slides here, we're next going to check that our Matlab or Octave installations work. Now Matlab should work out of the box for you. You shouldn't need to make any extra installations for that. Octave should work out of the box as well. If you're on a version 3.8 or greater, you should have Octave Java capability installed for you automatically. Sometimes people turn that off. If that's the case, you will need to install the Octave Java package from Octave Forge. Okay, and that's described on the wiki as linked here. But let's go and check that we can run this sample script in Octave and Matlab. Okay, so I'll come through. This time I'll go to Demos, Octave. All of the Octave and Matlab demo scripts are in the Octave folder. I'm going to do Octave first. So I'm going to start a new terminal window. I'm going to run Octave, and here I'm going to run the example1 script, and we see we get a similar result to Java. Of course, because we're running on random data, the numbers are slightly different from what we got before, but they're roughly the same. As the text says, the result should be close to 1 bit here and close to 0 bits here, and that's exactly what we get. So Octave, JIDT is running perfectly fine in Octave. Let's go and have a look at Matlab now. So I've got Matlab already open. Now I'll change directory into where our distribution is. I'll change into the demos Octave directory. And here, again, I'm going to run example1. And again, everything runs fine in Matlab. Okay, fantastic. Let's come back to the slides. The last one I want to check for you is that everything runs okay in Python. Now for Python, we need one extra installation to connect Python to Java. We're going to do that using the JPipe package. There are other ways of connecting Python to Java, but I've chosen to run with the JPipe package here. Now, which package you install depends on whether you're on Python 2 or Python 3. If you're on Python 2, you can just install JPipe. If you're on Python 3, you can install JPipe 1. The command I've written down here uses the pip package manager. If you're on Anaconda, you can use a different command. I think it's conda install or something like that. In any case, you can read more details about that on the wiki pages here for non-Java environments. So let's assume you've got those installed okay. To check that everything's running fine for JIDT in Python, we're going to run this sample script here. So let's go back and let's do that. Okay, so we're going to go to our demos Python directory of the install. I'll grab a command window here again, and I'll show you. I'm going to run this in Python 3. Okay, so in Python, everything ran fine for me. I'll now run it in Python 2 to validate that as well. And in Python 2, again, everything has run fine. So as you will have seen inferred here, I didn't really explicitly say this, but in our distribution, we have our demos directory. Underneath demos, we have demos in several different languages. So we start off in Java, running one of the examples here. You can see we can run it straight from a shell script in Linux environments or a batch file for Windows. We also saw that we have in the Octave folder several .m scripts for demonstrations in Octave and Matlab, and in Python several .py scripts for examples in Python. Okay, but that's all for the moment for showing you how to install JIDT and check that it's running. As I say, there are more details on the wiki pages for installation and for how to get non-Java environments working. In our next video, we'll start to have a look in more depth at the contents of the JIDT download.